One of the most important things that you need to do before you have your very first gathering together is you really need to sit down and start to write down a list of names of people that would be blessed by being invited to be a part of your micro campus, your micro church that you're starting. Now, I know that the best way to do this is to first pray before you even start writing down any names, because the Lord knows people's lives and their situations, and he knows them way better than we do. It's not to say that when you ask people that you're going to get yes with every answer. You're going to get a lot of no's. But what I want you to be clear on when you talk to people is that you are starting a new church and you are asking them to join you in this adventure. This is beyond a Bible study group, and I don't want you to present it in such a way, because if they're a part of a church already, that's wonderful. And if they're called to that church, then they should be a part of really of their Bible study ministry and using their gifting in that setting. Not to say that they couldn't help you get it off the ground or whatnot, but that's a different story. I would say that the best way to do this is actually, and this is very time consuming, is to get together and not do this over the phone, to get together after you make your list, to get together with the individuals on the list. And maybe this is the Lord's going to reveal this. Maybe you get the group after, maybe you have some individual conversations, maybe you have all individual conversations, and maybe you even, in addition to that, get the whole group together for some Q&A and all of that. But I really think that you need to, I really do think you need to do it individually at least. The group thing maybe as well, but individually, when you're sitting down with the person, to first listen, to really listen and ask questions about things that are happening in their life. Maybe they are just, the Lord is just blessing them in their where they're at, and they're just excited about what God is doing, and X, Y, Z. Well, then maybe the invitation doesn't even need to come. The last thing in the world that I want to do is to pull people from where they're at or where they're called. What we're looking for is people who feel called right now to start a church. Like, that is something that the Lord would have already started preparing the way, even before you had this conversation. They just didn't know what shape or form it would take. So before you even start to share what you are called to do and what God is doing, first find out where they're at in the season of their life. Also, know that even no matter what they say, I think it's important that you share what God is doing in your life. Talk about Acts 4:33, how God led you there, and how God's calling you to be a campus leader, and you're excited to take this adventure and see where it'll lead, and all of that. Now, if during the conversation that they seem very interested, that they're in a place in their life where maybe they can join you on this adventure, ask them for their help. Ask them not to make a decision or a commitment right there, but ask them that they would pray, take some time to see if this is where God is leading. And then maybe find a time to reconnect with them after they've had a chance to kind of process and had a chance to pray about it. And let them know that, a no answer is wonderful too. You just want to find people who feel called. And those people who feel called to join the group, you're excited to go on this adventure. You just don't want a lot of people that are, half on the fence, half off the fence. You want people that feel excited about this adventure, that don't feel burdened into it, pressured into it. Because you're looking at this group going through life together, growing together, and then eventually dividing and starting new adventures. So, your group's not always going to be the same 12 people. Your group's going to be changing, constantly changing. And that's exciting. And that's through the leading of the Holy Spirit. Now, what I would say is groups that start, we're looking at 6 at like the bare minimum. And we're looking at, hopefully closer to 12 to 15 range. I don't know, your group space is going to be important. How many people can you fit in there? But I can tell you, if your target goal to start off with is 15, you're going to have more than 15 names on that list. You're probably going to have to have more like 25. And you know what? It's better to have more than not enough, because let's say you have 18 or 19 that start with you right away. That's wonderful, and maybe we can fast track you into dividing the group. Maybe you get 2 new people and you're at 20 and you're kind of at capacity. So right away, we're going to be looking at splitting off and having a group of 10 and a group of 10. So really, your roster invite is so important. You really need to think about that, pray about it. And the cool thing about it is God will lead people into your life right during this season that weren't even on your list, that you weren't even thinking about. So that's pretty cool to see that happen. I'm excited for you as you build this roster and seeing who God forms together for this, because he knows what you need and he'll give you what you need. So take those steps by faith. I encourage you for that. Important step. Don't try to rush this step. Take your time in it. Because you want to get this right before you start this adventure going forward.